Good morning, everyone. My name is Melanie Toledo, and welcome to my video of my oral presentation for Drama 15 class. So our assignment is to compare one of the plays that we watched at LMC, and the play that I'm choosing is Man of the Flesh, and it was a little newspaper. It was produced at the LMC Little Theatre from October 16th through the 27th, and I watched it in the evening, I think on a Tuesday evening, with a couple people. So didn't know the theme was a little bit more mature, so should have not brought teenagers. Anyway, so Man of the Flesh is its theme was personal urges versus personal responsibility. The main characters was Juan, his dad, Luis, Anna, and Franco. So the play went, the summary of the play is that Juan is this confident, driven, really, he has all of these sexual urges, and he he basically invites women in his life, gets them pregnant, and takes no responsibility. So the major theme I got from the play was be careful, your past actions will come back to haunt you. And which it did. The play ended when a spirit, this is where I got a little bit confused with the play, is a spirit from the afterlife came back to haunt him. The spirit was dressed up as his mom, but before that, the spirit was kind of hovering around the stage area, so we knew that the spirit was going to take a role in at the end. So, anyways, the spirit. Then we find that the spirit is not really his mom. It's another spirit from the afterlife who is infatuated with him, wants to have sex with him, and basically after doing this act, he dies. And then that's the end of the story. So I wanted to compare it with of the plays that we reviewed, and I've got the stack of them. So bear with me, I have my notes in front of me here. So the first play that we watched was The Colored Museum. And I thought it was a little bit different from The Man of the Flesh because it was many acts of satire. So there wasn't a lot that I can compare similarities and differences to for this play. For A Raisin in the Sun, I found main differences is that whereas in Man of the Flesh, there was a father-son relationship, and the father looked down at his son and said, you have to treat women with honor and respect. For A Raisin in the Sun, the only difference is that the son, it was the mom who was trying to impose some responsibility to her son. So it was Ruth Younger, was trying to make sure that all her children were respectable, God-fearing, and basically doing the right thing, the responsible thing to her her daughter, her son, and her daughter-in-law. Then we had two plays from this book. It was The Basement at the Bottom at the End of the World, and the theme that I got that was similar to The Man of the Flesh is sort of the false falling in love. Here on this play, Paul and Deneen sort of fell in love accidentally. You know, there was a catastrophe, there was an earthquake, and they were stuck in this basement. So Paul being a white Caucasian Caucasian teenager, and Deneen being an African American, they had to deal through dialogue, because there was really nothing else to do, about racial stereotypes, what their perception was of themselves, and then what others, they brought in a lot of prejudice, a lot of judgment from others, and how they perceive themselves, their family, and how society perceives their race as well as another person's race. So that's what I found as comparison, the false falling in love Whereas Juan in Man of the Flesh thought that he was in love with Ana, one of the daughters that he was a gardener for. So that was my summary, my comparison to that. And then we also had a second play from this textbook. It was The Migrant Farmworker's Son. And the same characterization that I found between that play and Man of the Flesh was the father and son relationship. So here it was the father and Juan, and then here in the Migrant Farmworker's Son was the father and his son Henry. Now the father from the Migrant Farmworker's Son felt guilty that he was being the strong father, and that I believe he beat his daughter to death, or there was a tragic accident that happened to his daughter, so where he was feeling guilty, and that affected his relationship with his son. So the father-son relationship was similar in these two plays. The next play, the next play that I wanted to compare Man of the Flesh to was Zoot Suit. And I think this, in character, had the most similarity. And it was the character of Henry Reyna and the Pachuco was very similar to how Juan in this play had acted. It was the cool, kind of hip, like nothing can touch me kind of attitude that I found was very similar between these two plays. Let's see. Oh, also here, El Pachuco was the narrator in the play, and in Man of the Flesh, it was Juan's best friend, Franco. He was also one of the gardeners, landscapers, but he added a very comedic twist to it that I found really engaging to watch. And the narration that Franco gave to Man of the Flesh was really good. I think it was my favorite character in the play. The next play that I would like to get to is Fresh Off the Boat, Fob. And the similarity that I found in the themes of these two plays was sort of like the making fun of your own culture through slang, through verbal jokes, and then kind of like the throwing off of stereotypes within your own race. Because I could talk a lot about, I could say a lot of like, oh, Filipinos do this and they do that. So that's what I found was the similarity kind of in between the dialogues. There was also, let's see, it was also a comedy. I found Fresh Off the Boat a little bit of a comedy because of the witty slang and dialogue between these two plays. Let's see. The next play that I like to analyze and compare is Golden Child. The similarity that I have with this is the time. Oops, I forgot to write the names of the. It was the outside of reality mythical themes that kind of interplay, because Man of the Flesh, there was an element of the outside world. Again, it's like a theme of Day of the Dead, where the celebration of afterlife and honoring those who passed away came into play. So in Golden Child, there was the mythical themes of the god warrior. I'm sorry, that was Fresh Off. Sorry, that was Fresh Off the Boat. I'm sorry. So they had the warriors and how Grace and Steve was, I am the warrior, I am Guan Goon, and Grace says, you're too scrawny to be a warrior. And then Steve goes, wow, I'm surprised you know who that is. And I think that's how, sort of in friendship, they became a little bit of friends, and they had an understanding that both of them know a little bit more about their culture, even though they already have gone to have come here to America. Oh, and sorry, Golden Child, so let me finish this, there was a Spirits of the Dead came to a major play. All of the characters, the wives, were always praying to their ancestors, their parents, to keep them safe, to honor their wishes. And then also differences, of course, were there were more the play between all the women, the three wives and the daughters. And then I found some, especially the second wife, where she was more like who wants the power and being more manipulative. So her character to me was a little bit of like Juan, who wanted some power. And then finally, the last play that I want to compare to is All My Sons, that I just finished reading. So here, there was also the differences was the father was guilty about producing all of these defective parts, and has a role into personal responsibility. So it all ties back into the personal responsibility, even if you own a business, as Joe has a machine shop that produced the defective parts. So the relationship between the father and the son were also compromised. So full circle, father and son relationship to the man of the flesh. And main themes, of course, were be careful, your past actions will come back to haunt you. So I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and I really enjoyed reading all of the plays and having the opportunities to watch the plays as well. So have a great day, have a great semester, and yay, it's all done. And I have no idea how to stop this.